أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Last time we talked about our purpose of life in this dunya, which is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the last verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the reason why He created us is to worship. Further on in the Quran, the Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expands further on that it's not just to worship, but there is a purpose to it as well. In Surah Mulk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ أَمَلًا. That we have created the death, خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ, and life, so that we see which one of you does good actions in this dunya, good deeds. It's not just a case of worship, but that worship is being tested as well. So there is a purpose, there is a reason why we are here. And just like anything we do in our life, when we plan to do something, we plan every single step of our journey. And it's unfortunate that this journey that we have undertaken, there is no plan involved in it. An example of that is there was a person who observed an ant. What he observed was that ant was carrying a leaf with it, and it was on a mission to get somewhere, and he observed it, and he was travelling, and on its travel it came across a little crack on its path which it couldn't cross over. So what it did was it decided to lay the leaf over that crack and walk over the leaf to get to the other side of the crack, and then pulled the leaf over and carried on its journey with the leaf on its back. And as it reached its destination, its house was a tiny little hole, and it realized that this leaf that it was carrying all that long journey of it is too big to carry inside the hole. So it leaves the leaf outside its house and continues going into the house. And this is us as human beings, that we try and gather all sorts of different things in pursuit of our greed, that we lose all sense of logic. It's a greed that shuts all the doors to our intellect. And the greed obviously comes from the nafs. And when the greed overtakes our heart, the state of our ruh, then it corrupts. Now the greed comes from the nafs. We carry so much burden on our shoulders and not realize that our ultimate home is a grave where we can't carry anything other than ourselves. Now there are two major players in our life that stop us from planning, and those are the nafs and shaitan. Our nafs is the biggest of them two. Shaitan is nothing against the nafs, because ultimately, if you think about it, it was the nafs that destroyed the shaitan in the first place. So to get around that, there is nothing in this dunya that we could do to fight them both. There's nothing, except with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His chosen people, the awliya. Without their help, without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, we are helpless. And the only thing that could defeat these two things is the zikr of Allah, is the purification of the nafs, the purification of the heart. Now there is a stage before the purification or during the purification, and there is a stage after the purification. And this battle is greater than any battle we could imagine. And it is mentioned in one of the Hadith Pak that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam called this battle as Jihadul Akbar. And it really is Jihadul Akbar. Because an enemy that you could physically see is someone you could fight. But this enemy is within us, invisible. This is the enemy that we are facing. The only thing that exposes this enemy is the zikr of Allah, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those people who are close to Him. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ.